bird whispering in the trees. It's two cities and they're only...
I'm not even going to have this argument. I'm just going to tell you, anything that comes into the city of Hammond, the town of Munster, Highland, Griffith, I don't care, state of Indiana, that's our money. If they're spending it on your kids and they're getting it from me somehow, I don't care how they're getting it, it's my money. Because that's the same money. It's all the same money. It all comes out of the same pot. That's the money to put in the new Oriental lighting that I should get on my street. Or fixing my street where the sewers don't back up in front of my house. It actually flows in the direction that it's supposed to. That's my money. I don't care. You can call it gaming money. You can call it tax money. You can call it fee money. I don't care what you call it. It's still our money. Let's see what Charlie has to say. Hey, Charlie.
Preach. Yeah, I honestly don't have a problem with the program. I think it should be expanded to all ages, just not high school people. I do have a problem with,
we should go, right?
It is our money.
Huh?
It's gaming money, and we should know how that gaming money is spent. And part of that in hand is, have you ever seen an audit of that report of how that money's spent, or how it's allocated?
Of course not.
Well,
of course
now
not.
we got a problem. I don't know what the administrative cost of that program is. Do you?
No, I've never seen any report that's with a breakdown. The best you're going to see is that we spent X amount of hundreds of thousands of dollars sending kids to school. You're not going to see any breakdown on it.
Oh, preach. There's the problem. It's our money. It's casino revenue funds that have been redirected to a specific project, and I have no problem with the program. I think it's a great program, and I think there should be some caveats that, folks come back after they graduate and spend some time here in Northwest Indiana or within the region, within 100 miles of Northwest Indiana as part of the program. On the other side of the coin, how do we know what's being spent on what?
We don't.
Exactly. So now, it's a great program, but now I have a problem with it. Because if we don't know how much money is being spent on the program, how much is being redirected for advertising, let's say promotional on WJOB.
Or consultants.
I'm sorry, is it $1 or is it $30,000?
I understand, and your point's well taken. You're just supporting one of my issues with it. See, it wouldn't make that much difference to me, because then if it's private business, and then of course you have to monitor this stuff, and it all goes back to transparency in government, which we don't have. It's all a bunch of bunk. It's a lie. And you're going to hear me say this over the next 3 or 4 or 5 months repeatedly. You got to vote for the people you trust, man. Set up programs the Tricky Dicky style with the sleight of hand and the end around. The right hand doesn't know what the left hand's doing, and you want me to eat this nasty fish when it stinks this bad, or you don't want me to say anything about it when it smells like this and it walks by. Come on, I got to ask the guy, hey, would it kill you? This thing stinks of something. Well, what is it a problem that I'm asking the questions? Shouldn't be a problem that I'm asking the questions. I'm entitled to ask the questions. I can't even get a straight answer out of somebody who's got a kid in the program. Does it make any difference to the people in the program if private business pays for it? Because it makes a big difference to me. We can't afford it. If the businesses can afford it, then great. Let's get them involved. Do I got to ask you again, why doesn't Griffith have this program? Why doesn't Cherville have a college-bound program? The college-bound program, as it is, serves only one purpose, and that is to get people reelected. That's it. Let's go to Fred out there in television land. Hey, Fred.
Hey, Preach, a couple of companies I used to work for would pay for your college classes.
Really?
But, yeah, oh, yeah.
Oh, if you worked for the company.
Yeah, the companies that I worked for. You could go to school
sure.
a class or two a semester.
Right, Inland used to do that, too.
Yeah, and there's a lot of companies that do, but they had to put they finally had to put a restriction on that once you graduated, you would stay for 3 years, or you refund the money. So many people were getting degrees and then disappearing.
Taking off, heading for California.
Yeah, they head for another company, go someplace else.
Yeah, I agree. And that's not a bad stipulation, and thanks, Fred, so much for the comment, and thank you for listening. I would have all kinds of stipulations attached to this puppy, especially if the taxpayers are going to pay for it. Again, the program that this is modeled after comes from Kalamazoo, Michigan, if I'm not mistaken. If I am, it comes from somewhere else, but I believe it's Kalamazoo, Michigan. It is not financed by or on the backs of the public. It's financed by business. I'm perfectly fine with that, though I would monitor the heck out of that thing too. Because anytime you got money coming into government, you always got somebody that, might be somewhat less than honest. And if I have to prove that, it's just look around and think about the 45, 50, 52 people who have gone to prison for doing just that. And that doesn't really include the clerks who are stealing the money that we read about every other month. 100,000 here, 40,000 there. More and more money coming in, more and more opportunities for someone to do something less than the right thing. But even then, at least it's not the taxpayers' money. Don't fall for this stuff any longer. When you hear politicians saying, no, it's not tax dollars. It's gaming money. Tell them, and tell them in no uncertain terms. We understand what it is. That's our money. And you can tell them you heard it right here. Do I got to pound it into your head? Because I will. Maybe people should start calling, in particular the Democrats, and say, preach, we understand. Thank you so much for pounding it into our heads. It's our money. The government's not entitled to anything we don't give them. And they take a lot more than we're really willing to give. I don't care what Dave from Highland says as far as paying more taxes. I don't want to pay more taxes. The vast majority of you don't want to pay more taxes. I would like to see less of my money that I am paying going down to Indianapolis or going to Washington, D.C., where somebody else can squander it away, staying here locally. I'd like to see that, of course. That makes good sense to me. But I could make that happen in the real world without paying more. Do I have to pay more when we squander so much now?